All right, Shalom. I want to begin this lesson by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Wahar Rakah Kwadash, which in the ancient Hebrew tongue would be the correct names of the Heavenly Father, His beloved Son, and the Holy Spirit. I also would like to give double honors to my teachers, the head apostles and elders, a great millstone. Much due honors and respect to the sincere brethren out there that's also laboring in His work. And as always, I want to say shalom to the believers, the Akim as well as the Aqua, which would be you brothers along with the sisters that subscribe to this truth as well. So yeah, this sitting right here is going to be centered around, the current condition of this place, America, and the downward spiral or fall from grace, if you will, of the so-called white man, which these things was foretold and prophesied to happen, all right, unbeknown to the majority of you people out there, and especially amongst you Americans who have this misconceived notion, this misconception of America being some perpetual kingdom, as if this system is going to be in play forever. But what you're going to come to find out is according to the Bible, which, by the way, this is the most powerful book on the planet Earth right here. Why? Because it's compiled with prophecies, you see? And according to the prophecies, just like all kingdoms and empires that rose to power, where they all had one common theme. They fell out of power, man. You see, and that's where we at in this process concerning America, which America is recorded in the scriptures. And that in itself is a stumbling block, especially to those amongst you out there that claim to build your foundation off the scriptures. See, when you present it with the idea of America being recorded in the Bible, you want to see the word America, not understanding that this book, in the prophecies was recorded in some cases thousands of years in the past, man. So the modern terminology such as missiles and America is not going to be found in the Bible. And this is where wisdom comes in, the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah guiding you through this very intricate book, okay? But nevertheless, America is recorded in the Bible, whether you hear or forbear, man, whether you believe or not. And why wouldn't it be? The most wickedest kingdom ever erected, man. Matter of fact, you know what? Real quick before we get into this lesson, let me start off real quick in the book of Revelation, the first chapter. In the 8th verse, it says, I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending. Yeah, and this is the words of our Lord Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. All right? And he's declaring his status, if you will, in existence. He's the beginning and the ending. See? Saith the Lord, which is and which was and which is to come, the Almighty. Meaning what? The Lord covers all sides of the spectrum, man. See that? So not only is the Lord he that which is dealing with the present, but also he is which was, which is dealing with the past, and which is to come, which covers the future, man. So you mean to tell me somehow America escaped out of the clutches of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah? Of course not. You see? Furthermore, when you read the scriptures with understanding, through spiritual lenses, if you will will see that really this book in its entirety is a build up to America, man. Why? Because this place, this kingdom was foretold to be in existence and power at the return of our Lord Yahweh Shah, which will mark the climax to life and existence itself, man. See? So America is important, Now with that established, the current state of this place, America being confounded, being hit with these surgical strikes from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, well, this means that the fall of this place ultimately, physically, in its physical manifestation is right around the corner, man. Because for an example, when you go back into the past, let's just say when concerning ancient Egypt, before the Lord ultimately overthrew the Pharaoh and his army, he hit that place with a series of plagues. We know the famous plagues such as turning water into blood, and you had the frogs, you see. But some of the more detailed plagues, if you will, is when the Lord affected Egypt's economy. And how did that happen? By sending locusts to eat up the crops, by killing off the cattle. That actually affected the economy of Egypt, man, ancient Egypt. So now when you fast forward to the time we're in now, which is also considered Egypt, which is a buzzword for the captivity of the children of Israel, which would be you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Well, the Lord is replaying those steps, man. He's revisiting those steps. You see? He has smitten America with a series of plagues. And one of the most famous plagues is the economy of America being rocked right now. These Americans, these financial prognosticators, you know, those who forecast the future of this place, America, if you will, is being confounded. The average financial advisor out there is going to tell you straight up and down, this place and the future of this place is looking very bleak, man, and dim. And this is the work of our Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, which again, you know, for an example, when you consider ancient Egypt, before the Lord ultimately uprooted that place, he sent forth a series of plagues in effort to confuse and confound the Pharaoh and the Egyptians at that time. And guess what? Those plagues has been brought upon America. This place, Babylon the Great, has been smitten by the plagues of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, which is ultimately going to lead to the destruction of this place. You see? And the scriptures give you a vivid illustration of this. And that's made no more clearer than right here in the book of Psalms, the 71st chapter, and starting at the 10th verse. For mine enemies speak against me, and they that lay wait for my soul take counsel together. Yeah, so this is the scriptures pretty much giving you a play-by-play. We're witnessing this unfold as we speak. Those who lay wait for our soul, for our life, is beginning to take crafty counsel against us, man, in the form of demonizing us, you know, setting the stage to roll on us. You see? The scriptures is highlighting that and giving you a vivid illustration of that, which again proves that this is the most powerful book on the planet Earth. It's as if this book is narrating, you know, our day-to-day and everything that's happening, man, right before our eyes. See? Again, for mine enemies speak against me, and they that lay wait for my soul take counsel together. See, verse 11, saying, the Most High have forsaken him, persecute and take him. See, persecute and take him. And that order has been sent down by the heads of this society. The chief house of the nation of Edom, which comes in the form of these international bankers, man. They have sent down an order to persecute and take us. See, again, it says, saying the Most High have forsaken him, persecute and take him, for there is none to deliver him. Verse 12, O Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, be not far from me, O my power, make haste for my help. Let them be confounded and consumed. See that? Let them be confounded and consumed. So simultaneously, as they plot against us and attempt to demonize us, you see, and attempt to persecute and take us, the Lord is confounding them simultaneously, man. See that? Again, let them be confounded and consumed. See? There are adversaries to my soul. Yeah, these devils is against our life, our well-being. And pretty much they don't want to see us in the ruler seat. They don't want to see us in our proper lot, in the inheritance that was sworn by oath to our forefathers, you know, by Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, which they can't offset that. They can't overthrow that covenant. Yet these devils are going to scratch and claw, and that's the time we in now. These devils are going to go out tooth and nail to try to hold fast to their kingdom, man. See? And this is the scriptures giving you a chronological order how this thing is going to play out, man. And pretty much highlighting it by giving you a vivid illustration. See that? Again, Psalm 71, starting at verse 11. Saying, the Most High have forsaken him, persecute and take him. See? For there is none to deliver him. O Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, be not far from me. O my power, make haste for my help. Let them be confounded and consumed. See, there are adversaries to my soul. Let them be covered with reproach and dishonor that seek my hurt. Now, when you look up that word confound, which we're going to pull up real quick, it says, cause surprise or confusion in someone, especially by acting against their expectations. See that? Let's read it again. The definition for the word confound, it says cause surprise or confusion in someone, especially by acting against their expectations. See that? And that's where we at in the process. This place America in the overwhelming spirit of the average American and their expectations is being compromised. Now, what was the rallying cry with these devils? Make America great again. You see? And what's standing in between that is the prophecies. The mere fact that the Lord have raised up men, and we pretty much spoiling that expectation. See? So when you read right here in the book of Isaiah, the 47th chapter, in the first verse, it says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. That word dust goes back to what? Confusion, which pretty much translates to what? Confounded, which we just looked up the definition, which means to pretty much compromise somebody's expectations, man. So now you Americans is sitting in the dust. You are being confounded. You don't have this optimistic outlook you once always had, because you devils always had this triumphant type of spirit. That's why you even rallied behind that saying, make America great again, man, because you was optimistic. But now it's being made more and more clear that your run is up. See? So again, Isaiah 47:1, come down and sit in the dust or confusion or the state of being confounded. See? Which again means to compromise one's cut off one's expectation. See? Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate, man. See? Now, when you go into that word delicate, one of the definitions take you back to a delicacy. You know, it was a time where this place was digested. But now, you can barely stomach this fucking place, man. See? So it's no more being called tender and delicate. All right? So the Lord has cut off the expectations of you Americans, man. And that's why you experiencing this spirit, this overwhelming spirit of looking over your shoulder. You devils can feel it that your time is up. Matter of fact, let me grab some real quick. In the book of Proverbs, the 10th chapter, starting at the 27th verse, it says, the fear of the Lord prolongeth days, but the years of the wicked shall be shortened. Yeah, and when you read this precept with understanding, it's not necessarily dealing with individual lives. This is more so dealing with kingdoms. Okay, again, it says, the fear of the Lord prolongeth days. And what's the fear of the Lord? The keeping of the commandments. All right? And that's going to be established and promoted in the kingdom of heaven. And that's why our days are going to be prolonged. You see? That's why the kingdom of heaven is going to be a perpetual kingdom. So again, it says, the fear of the Lord prolongeth days, which is dealing with the kingdom. But the years of the wicked shall be shortened, which this is dealing with the time that we're in now. The reign of terror that's been perpetuated by the so-called white man. Well, guess what? This is a short run. Matter of fact, we're going to go back there, but let's prove that this is the book of Job, the 20th chapter, and starting at the 4th verse. It says, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphant of the wicked is short, see? And the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Yeah, so this is only a moment. This is a short run. And that's reiterated in the book of Revelation, the 20th chapter. Matter of fact, let's grab that real quick before we go back. This is our Revelation, chapter 20. And I start at verse 1. It says, and I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. And this is dealing with Esau, the so-called white man. When you go into the history from, I believe, from 3 to around 13 AD, these devils was in obscurity. You know, give or take 100 or 2 years, 800 to 1,000 years, roughly, these devils was in obscurity, and they began to come back into power around the 1300s. See? Verse 3, and cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon him that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And again, that was fulfilled around the 1300s. That's when that devil began to come back into power. You can go into the history on that, man. See? It says, and after that, he must be loosed a little season. See? And this is that little season. So the so-called white man in his run is short. See that? Now let's go back to Proverbs, the 10th chapter, and starting at the 27th verse again. It says, the fear of the Lord prolongeth days, but the years of the wicked shall be shortened. See that? Verse 28, the hope of the righteous shall be gladness. Yeah, because all we have is hope. We hope in Yahweh Bashmi Hawashah. See, the scriptures say, the hope of the righteous shall be gladness, but the expectation of the wicked shall perish. See? And that goes into the idea of being confounded. Again, when you go into that word confound, let's pull it up again. The word confound. All right. It's like it. You go into this word confound again. It says cause surprise or confusion in someone, especially by acting against their expectations. See? So when the scriptures say, come down and sit in the dust, daughter of Babylon, that dust symbolizes what? Confusion, which translates to being confounded, which pretty much means one who's acting against another's expectation. The expectation of you devils is being compromised. See that? So again, Proverbs 10 and 28, the hope of the righteous shall be gladness, but the expectations of the wicked shall perish. See that? So you devils expect, Trump to somehow make a comeback, which this guy is on the hot seat, But you trust that you thought that Trump was going to be the guy, to spearhead or lead the charge of America being brought back into his glory days, man, that he once had, once enjoyed. But the Lord is confounding that, and your expectations are being compromised. See? Matter of fact, let me grab one more last precept. We end it off right here. This is Ecclesiastes 12 and 3. It says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble. Yeah, and this is dealing with the elites of Esau. They pretty much the keepers of the house, and they trembling right now because they know what's going on. The average so-called white boy, he don't know what's going on, man. They still subscribe to whatever the media push out to them. Whatever filtered through the media, that's what these devils, the average devil, bite on. But these elites, they are perfectly, they understand perfectly, what's going on, man. They know that the Lord have risen up the prophets, and now their days are being numbered. The clock is ticking. The sun is setting on a kingdom. That's why they trembling. See? It says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves. Yeah, that's dealing with the military, police officers. Okay, that would be the strong men. See, the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and we are witnessing that, this overwhelming closing of these stores. You got stores that's closing down that was a permanent fixture here in America, man. See? It says, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened, meaning your future is going to be darkened, your expectations is going to be bleak, see? And that's where we at in the prophecy, man. See that? So right now is the time to, really gird up your loins and really focus in on the task at hand, for you brothers out there who have committed to performing the services of, doing the work of Yahweh Shema Hawashah, and including you believers. We're in beautiful times, man. We're in very monumental times. We're in a time where the Lord is now stepping in on by our behalf, and he's springing into action concerning the destruction of our enemies and the deliverance of his people. So, yeah, I just wanted to touch on that, Lord willing. It was edifying. Till the next time I say shalom.